here's our student, right? And the student comes in with all sorts of questions. So the first question they might have is, what's all this technology about? Or where's the content of the course? Or, what about the timetable? Because we've got face-to-face events. How am I going to do the timetable?
And that's recorded. That's
yeah. It's all right. It's just
that's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. So
Just gets better and better.
what's the timetable? And what else are they going to be thinking about? They're going to be thinking about, okay, well, what sort of learning activities do I need to be engaging in?
What support?
And actually, also, you've got to remember what these people are working. So they're worrying about work. I didn't write that one down, but they're worrying about work. So what do we do? So really, to be honest, this face-to-face thing is a big deal because we can bring them in and we can talk to them. We can talk to them about the technology and we can do stuff with them. We can get them in the computer and we can talk to them and do stuff.
Yes.
But in parallel with the face-to-face, we've got an induction block.
Yes,
yeah?
That's right. They'll have an induction to the course. They'll have an induction to each module, and the technology module will actually do hands-on.
Let's do this first few weeks though. This first induction sort of couple of weeks.
Okay.
And what we want to do is we want to video the face-to-face sessions. They can be embedded into the induction block. We're going to have stuff in the induction block about introducing some of the technology. We've got resources to do that. I've shown you some of those. And you can embed that in the face-to-face. So you get this sort of relationship between the technology, the face-to-face, and the resources.
Okay.
You bring it all
so
together.
let's capture that. We've got the blog, we've got the induction blog, we've got the face-to-face.
Well, hang on, bear with me. Just. Okay. So that's after the induction.
Right.
But then we actually get into the real business. So then we're into the VLE. Okay, so we're now beginning the modules. And what sort of resources have we got there? So the beginning of the module.
Well, they'll have an induction to the module.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the resources we're talking about. First of all, that learning guide. The learning guide that we're going to get Stephen to do.
Yes,
so that's really important. That's what are the learning outcomes? What do I have to do? That's the guide for the tutor and for the student.
And as you said before about what is their context.
Yeah.
What they're working and the professional context. That because I think that's where they would be talking about that anyway.
Yeah.
Well, because that's
and the talking, the discussion forums, very important, and also the links to the hot seats. So that's basically what I've just put together, and that's just walking through how we see it working. And I think. Okay, so we're going to talk about roles then. So we've got obviously students. That's the key thing, and then they're supported by tutors, and we also have mentors.
Yeah, the workplace mentor.
The workplace and the mentor, and we also have workplace advocates.
Yes, and that's the key person who gives the student the.
So it's making the distinctions between these categories of people. So obviously the student is somebody who's online, but we're doing blended learning basically. So we're doing this mix between face-to-face and
opportunities for face-to-face.
Yes, so that's right.
We expect that students will want face-to-face, but we want to be able to take a student fully online.
Okay, so let's look at the tutors then. So basically, they're our facilitators. They're the people who are guiding the student through the learning contract. They're guiding their inquiries to meet the learning outcomes.
Yes.
They're pushing the students to engage with each other as well. I think that's a key thing that we're facilitating.
And they're making sure they give student feedback on comments they've made or discussions on activities they've had.
Okay. Now the mentor, just what's the mentor? How do you see the mentor being distinct?
Well, the workplace mentor will be a person, one of the people in the workplace where the student can go to for some support.
Okay.
For example, if they're doing an inquiry and there's a hitch, what do they do?
Yeah, okay. So they're the link to tutor.
And they go to the advocate.
Okay. And we talked about the forum mentor and how the forum mentor...
Right, the mentors would also give access to have a mentors forum so we can get feedback from the mentors. Because if they're working with the students...
So there's a mentorship forum to help the mentors engage with each other.
We want to help them understand what students have to do and give us questions and feedback also on how it's going, because we want to make sure that we have continuous improvement on the course.
And then the workplace advocate is the person who's actually agreeing that the learner is equipped with they can do inquiry within their work context.
That's right. They have to give approval, so that we don't want it to take a student and then find out that we can't possibly do this in our, I can't do it in my workplace. They won't give me access.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that the student has the support of the employer, and somebody quite high up would be the person, maybe a line manager or someone in charge of admin support, or somebody of appropriate position in the organisation to say, yes, this course would be suitable for them, and we can support them. We can allow them to do the inquiries in the workplace.
Okay, and just mentioning what we're doing here, is we also need to talk about the diverse learning needs of our students. The fact that because we have a personalised programme, I think we're in a better position to meet diverse learning needs, and of course we need to think about issues of learning support and special needs and all that.
We need to think of every single students with different learning needs, and say, how could we meet the needs of a student who was blind, or a student who had dyslexia, or a student who had a hearing difficulty.
Yes. Okay.
And just walk through different, how would we provide support, what would we do?
That's great. Okay, so if we look at the student in the workplace and we look at what's surrounding that student in the workplace to support them, we're looking at the mentor, we're looking at their colleagues within the workplace, we're looking at the workplace advocate, we're looking at their student peers. Now this is new to these people who are, this is what we're bringing, this is what the university is contributing.
The student peers would be a really good network of professional practice where they can engage in real discussion about what is happening in their workplaces, bearing in mind confidentiality. Let's be careful there with confidentiality and ethical issues and so on. And that's why during the induction we need to make sure that the student is taught how to present discussion, items for discussion, and how to not break ethics. And again, this is why the mentor is important, so they can the student can talk about any ethical or confidentiality issues that might be involved in the work they're doing, and what is and what isn't confidential.
Also we've got the tutor and facilitator and the personal tutor. Now obviously the personal tutor is something we have in university. Every student has a personal tutor. But their role against the facilitator, their key relationship is going to be with the facilitator, isn't it?
Well, the personal tutor, we have a specified role in our school for a personal tutor, and every student has a personal tutor.
Okay, alright. So let's again just take a slightly different view.
Which may not be the module tutor.
A slightly different view with an emphasis on assessment now, I think. So we've obviously got the specs for assessment. We've got particular learning activities which will be coordinated through the programme. Now some of those learning activities, the hot seat or the what are we calling it?
I think we call it the debates.
The debates, that is a learning activity.
Those are learning activities, but we'll also have activities which are structured activities around assessment criteria, for instance, or around particular aspects of content, which could be a different thing from a debate. Now, the debates are learning activities, but this could be exercises. It could be taking part in little role play activities. Actually, now workplace. They find things out from the workplace.
One type of learning activity we have is on the screen now, but is the learning contract. That is a key learning activity which underlies most of what the learners do.
And we've got that built into our assessment schedule right at the beginning. Now, what we need to do is get students to work in advance on the learning contract.
Yes.
Although it's here in the module, and they do that at the beginning, they also do it on the PDP modules, of which there's one each year.
Yeah. And then of course.
And they would set up their projects for that year. Yeah. But of course they may change. Yeah. And that's why they would be under review. And more detail put on them in the modules.
Okay, and then we've got obviously ePortfolio as the means by which